Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Dr. Nosa and I'm a GP registrar currently working in London. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing the PLAB versus USMLE exams, basically helping you decide, giving you all the information you need to help you decide whether you should go down the UK PLAB route or the USMLE US route. USMLE is the medical licensing exam all doctors intending to practice in the US have to pass. Doesn't matter whether you're a foreign graduate or you're a US graduate, literally all doctors working in the US have passed USMLE. That is the only route working there. PLAB is only applicable to foreign medical graduates. UK medical students don't have to take PLAB versus foreign medical graduates. You either have to pass PLAB or you have to pass one of the other routes I'm going to mention. So for example, in the UK, you can decide to do one of the Royal College exams like MRCP for medics or MRCS for surgeons. Just bear in mind that these other exams for the Royal College is definitely much harder than PLAB and they're also more expensive. So unless you're one of those doctors that's, probably reach close to consultant level abroad or you have a lot of experience working as a doctor abroad, I would not recommend you take these Royal College exams. In terms of the structure of the exam, PLAB 1 has two parts. PLAB 1 is the theory part, which consists of entirely multiple choice questions, and PLAB 2 is like the OSCE part, which is practical questions. This is in contrast to USMLE. USMLE actually has 3 parts, but you only need to pass the first 2 parts to start practicing as doctors in the UK. The first 2 parts you have to pass is USMLE Step 1 and USMLE Step 2 CK. USMLE Step 1 is a theory-based exam as well on basic medical sciences, and it also consists of just multiple choice questions. USMLE Step 2 CK is also a multiple choice exam, but that's more based on clinical medicine. In terms of comparison, PLAB 1 is similar to USMLE Step 2 CK because they're both multiple choice questions and they're both based on clinical medicine. Before the General Medical Council allows you register to take PLAB to start working in the UK, they require that you demonstrate a good understanding of English. This is usually done by taking one of the exams called OUT or OET. You may be exempt from taking this exam if you graduated from any of the countries on the list I'm going to put in my description box down below. So just check on the list. If you graduated from a university there, you are likely going to be exempt from taking OUT or OET. USMLE does not require you to take any English exams like PLAB does before you can take the exam, but I will say I think it's unlikely you're going to pass USMLE if your understanding of English isn't great, because the way they word those questions, wow, you have to really understand English, seriously. In terms of when you take the exams, USMLE can be taken in medical school. Actually, US medical students tend to take USMLE in their 3rd year, just after their preclinical years. They start off by taking USMLE Step 1. USMLE Step 1 is based on basic medical sciences, so it makes sense that you can take it just after you finish your basic medical sciences years. That way everything's fresh and they take that exam at that point. They usually take USMLE Step 2 CK after medical school. This is in contrast to PLAB. PLAB exams can only be taken after you have literally graduated medical school and received your title as doctor. USMLE you can take in any order of your choice. PLAB, you have to take PLAB 1 before you can take PLAB 2. USMLE, you can decide to go for USMLE Step 2 CK before you go for Step 1, any order you like. I will say that doctors that have experience abroad tend to prefer to start with Step 2 CK just because it's more clinical medicine and a lot of people have forgotten their basic medical sciences, which you need for Step 1 at that point. So they take Step 2 CK first and then spend a lot more months preparing for Step 1. Costs. Now, costs. Very important consideration. PLAB 1 costs, as of 2021, £240. PLAB 2 costs £879. OUT costs £190. So you're looking at a total minimum of £1,309 to take PLAB. This is obviously excluding registration fees, application fees, any other fees that you have to worry about, like visa application fees, all of that. This is not included. This is just literally how much the exams cost. USMLE Step 1 costs $975. USMLE Step 2 CK costs $975. So the total for that is $1,950. I just want you to note something. In the UK, you don't need to pay to apply for jobs after you've passed your exams. In the US, you actually need to pay to apply for jobs, which is painful because majority of those jobs you apply for, you're probably not going to get. So it kind of feels like a waste of money, but that's just the way things are in the US. The average international medical graduate applying to jobs in the US is going to apply to around 100 jobs. You really want to increase your chances of getting a job. That would probably work out to around $2,000 just for applications. But that's aside the point. If we're comparing these exams just totally based on cost, USMLE versus PLAB, USMLE is slightly more expensive. When it comes to difficulty, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, USMLE is harder than PLAB. Like, the preparation time needed for USMLE, you're looking, in my opinion, around 9 months at least. That's at best. Most people are looking at a year to complete the 2 steps. That's step 1 and CK, step 2 CK. PLAB, on the other hand, you can probably prepare for PLAB 1, PLAB 2 in just under 6 months. You can actually do it if you're dedicated, you're not working and all of that. Obviously, if you've got a full-time job, you're going to need a lot more time to prepare. I mean, when you compare the fact that PLAB 1 and 2 are around 3 hours long and USMLE 1 and step 2 CK are 9 hours each, 9 hours is like a full working day, man. That is freaking long. If you guys are interested in how to prepare for PLAB, I've got a video I'll link above so that you guys can go and watch on how I think you should be preparing for PLAB. I really give you some good tips there because PLAB is quite, in my opinion, an easy exam to prepare for. You have 4 attempts to take PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 if you fail. Same thing, USMLE step 1 and step 2 CK. You have 4 attempts as well. So they're both equal. In terms of validity period of both exams, you must pass PLAB 1 and 2 within 2 years of passing out. You must pass PLAB 2 within 2 years of passing PLAB 1. And if for any reason you don't do it within the required time frame, you have to repeat the exam again. So there's fairly a short period of time for you to pass all the exams. This is in contrast to USMLE. You have 7 years where you first pass PLAB 1 to pass the other steps. Now let's talk about pay. If you guys haven't already seen my video, I made a detailed video on how much doctors in the UK earn. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go over it quickly. There's no doubt US doctors get paid more than UK doctors, but also US doctors work more than UK doctors on average. The average US doctors is working around 100 hours a week. This is in comparison to the UK, where the average doctor is working at most 56 hours a week. This is if they're working legally. Naturally, if one doctor is working more, they're going to earn more. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But my question for you guys is, how important is work-life balance to you? Because for me, it's extremely important. The US doctors are earning more, but the question is, do they have time to spend that money they're earning? Are they spending time with family? A lot of my US colleagues don't have that time. They're literally always working, versus us UK doctors. Now, our rotas aren't the best, but at least we get, by EU laws, we're actually required to have a certain amount of breaks in between our shifts and all of that, which the US doctors don't have. The starting salary for a resident in the US is around $68,000 a year, apparently, and this is in comparison to the UK, which is around £28,000 a year. When you reach consultant level, that is when the pay actually becomes ridiculous, okay? In the US, according to Medscape, the average consultant, or should I say attending, is earning around $313,000 a year. Okay. This is in comparison to the UK, where the average full-time consultant is earning around £100,000 a year. So yeah, make of it what you want, but obviously that pay gap is huge. One of the most annoying things for me personally as a doctor in the UK is that the amount of time it takes to train to become consultant level is ridiculous. Unless you're becoming a GP, which is what I'm working towards. By God's grace, in just under 2 years, I'll be a GP. But if you want to go for like a specialty like dermatology, cardiology, one of those hospital internal medicine specialties, you're looking at many, many years. In the US, they can reach that in like 5 years after medical school. They're literally at consultant attending level. In the UK, you're looking like 10, 11, if not more years, if you have time off for maternity leave and stuff. That is crazy. And to me, there's no justification for that. People have this theory that the NHS kind of does that to just kind of keep us in training for longer, so they have more control over us and keep us in the system for longer, so they can pay us peanuts for longer as well. But that's just what word of the street is saying. Lastly, when it comes to deciding between PLAB and USMLE, you have to think about things that are going to affect your mental well-being. Do you have family in the US or the UK? What about cultural differences? Are there things you can't stand about the US or the UK? Use those kind of things to decide, because there's a lot more to deciding where you want to go than money, or how hard the exam is. An exam is just something you have to prepare for and you're done with it once you've passed. So don't let that, how hard the exam is, influence your decision on where to go or how much you're getting paid per se. It's also about where you have family, where you feel like you feel welcome. I personally suggest that if you have family in a certain area, then you should likely go there, because it will just make settling into that area much easier for you. But if you went somewhere where you had absolutely no friends, you can get really lonely, and that can affect your mental health, that can affect your work. So yeah, just make it simple. Want to go to the US? Take USMLE. Want to go to the UK? Take PLAB. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, me comparing PLAB versus USMLE. Obviously, I went down the PLAB route. I have absolutely no regrets. My husband's in the UK. That kind of helped. We're already engaged in my final year of medical school, so that was kind of a straightforward decision for me. But obviously, what's right for me is not going to be what's right for you necessarily. So make sure you take your time to decide, and I wish you the best of luck, and bye.